my very best to get this job that I so crave.
Ted. Hello, everybody. We got ourselves another entry in our Fanzone debate summer tournament. I don't know what the actual name is. I'm assuming all those things are in there. You know, we got ourselves a semifinals match. We got Kaleb Koho going up against Kaleb Boatman here. Battle of the Calebs. I'm sure everybody's looking forward to this one. Everybody mark your calendars for this one to come up, you know. But they're both tried and true. They've been making it their way, I think, in some of their cases, begrudgingly up until this point. But they're here, and they're going to debate some stuff. I got Brian and Kirk here with me. Brian, tell me how you're doing first.
Yeah, Tim decided to go and have a kid, so the inmates are in the asylum again. So it's just us here. But, I mean, this is going to be a fun one, although it's going to be, I expect a lot of volume, and I expect people to get up into, like, frequencies that only, like, dolphins can hear, because they both just kind of get frazzled, and this is going to be entertaining to watch, if nothing else.
All right. Well, Kirk.
Yeah. What happens in the Kingsman group chat stays in the Kingsman group chat for a reason. What we're going to get tonight is a peek behind the curtain that nobody wanted, nobody asked for, and was not meant for human consumption. So should be an exciting match.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's just start bringing them in. We're in our first number 9 seed, Kaleb Koho. Koho, how you doing today?
I'm very, very hot right now. The AC's been out in my apartment for days. And so I expect my approach to be very short with Bo, and it's not his fault. It's from outside forces. I'm going to do my best to give it my all in this. I said it before, I want to win the whole tournament. I'm beating Bill was a big confidence boost. He's a great debater. So being here and taking on Boat, I feel pretty good. So best of luck to this fucker. We'll do this thing.
All righty. Well, we'll just bring in the other guy here. Other Kaleb. It's Boatman. How you doing today? Doing all right?
You know, there's a quote in Men in Black where it's like, human thought is considered so toxic that it is banned in like most civilized galaxies. I feel like that's the same way with like Kingsmen interacting with each other. Like it probably should just be banned in civilized circles, like Kirk said. What happens in the Kingsman group chat stays in the Kingsman group chat, because when Koho and I start talking to each other, it just gets weird and wild and wacky and other adjectives that begin with W.
And then we start hosting a podcast. That's what happens.
We're just gonna like halfway through this decide we're done and just start talking being the Ricardos. Just so you know.
Basically.
Hopefully give us a winner by that time.
Hopefully.
Well, here's how it works. I'm pretty sure you guys know this, but we're going to go through your 4 questions, 2 pitched by each competitors. You guys are going to get each a minute to open your argument, and then I'm going to throw you in the same screen. Have 5 minutes to battle it out. And then at the end of that, you're going to get a minute to close out the argument. And then the 3 of us are going to each write who we thought won that argument with our, there it is. And whoever gets a majority gets a point. First of 3 is going to win the match. And what the hell? Okay. Well, I can't read. Whoever's first 3 is going to win. If we get any bonus question, whatever, might as well just get into it. So let's put the thing on. Alrighty. Well, getting your first question, which is a Matrix, which was drafted by Boatman, right?
I don't know why, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Drafted by Boatman is a fandom category, and we decided the question of what is the best action sequence in a Matrix film, and since Boatman, you're gonna start, yeah.
All right.
And gonna get a minute to go when you start talking right now.
The question is, what is the best action sequence in a Matrix film? That doesn't mean what is the coolest action sequence in a Matrix film. What is the most visually spectacular sequence in a Matrix film? No, it's what is the best action sequence in the film. A great action sequence not only gives you great action, but also propels the story forward in a way where you understand the stakes of exactly what is going on. And the lobby shootout from the first Matrix film absolutely fits the bill as the best action sequence because the stakes are very clear and very understandable. It is, we are going to save Morpheus. That is what is gained from this lobby shootout, is going to save Morpheus. That is what is gained here. It's visually spectacular. It has all those things, but it also has the core element of having stakes and propelling the story forward.
Time. Okay. Forward. Strike it out of here. All right. Get you out here for a second. Bring in good old Kaleb Koho. And you are going to have 1 minute open when you start talking.
I asked both, which is it? Can an action sequence be visually spectacular, or can it be whatever bullshit you're talking about? Because you just said it is either or. I think the best action sequence can be visually spectacular and can be the coolest. I think that is absolutely what the best action sequence can be. And I think that the highway fight from Matrix 2 is the best one. It's the coolest one. And even if you want to be like, oh, cool doesn't add anything, when I'm there to watch an action movie, I'm here to be wowed and to be taken to a place that I would never be in. And to be put in the middle of this incredible shootout that shows me the scale and the abilities of my main character, the abilities of the world around me, the danger that they are in, and the creative ways that we can demonstrate them getting out of trouble, I think make it the best action scene. I think, bending backwards and doing his really cool thing, the bullets and everything flying, I think that is the coolest action set piece that they have ever put to film. So much so that they try to recreate it all the time in everything else. So the best one to me is that one. It's the only reason to watch a Matrix movie is to see that scene. It's the only scene worth remembering.
All right, time. Okay. So let's start. Bring in Mr. Boatman.
I'm sorry, before we start, can I get a clarification on what Koho's answer was?
It's the highways. They're doing the shootout.
Okay.
Yeah. For Matrix.
Wait, from Reloaded. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Reloaded, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're good?
Yeah.
We're good.
Okay.
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 Now, after I'm done talking, whoever says anything first, 5 minutes starting.
You're not even describing the right scene from your movie. The bending backwards that you're talking about, that's from the first Matrix movie. It's what you're describing. You're not even describing the right scene from
He does
the
it
movie.
again, though.
So you don't even... So fine, you're describing that as your big focal point. They do that in the first movie. And for the record, I want to say, I didn't say my scene isn't visually spectacular. My scene has all the things your scene has. My scene just also propels the story forward and has stakes. I will throw it over to you, but I have one question first. I have one question for you first. Keep your hands on screen. Keep your hands on screen, please, while I ask you this question. Because I'm going to ask you a question, and I don't want you to Google it.
I don't have to.
The thing that I'm going to ask you is tell me what is actually happening in your scene stake-wise.
So what I'd like to talk about for this second is that Kaleb Boatman continuously flip-flops back and forth on what an action sequence can or can't be. He literally said it can't be visually spectacular or stunning to make it the best, and then says his is. That's exactly what his opening is. Go back and listen to it again, listeners. He does this all the time. He says bullshit, and then he just says that's what his is. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that, yes, he does the big move from the end of one, but the end of one, it means nothing, and it's stupid, and then it's better in the scene. Here's the thing. Endgame has the Avengers theme. That's still the best version of the Avengers theme, even though it's not the first time it's played. It doesn't have to be the first time. It happens to be the best version. The best version is taking that element and putting it into the moment where everything is heightened to 11, where you have all the people chasing. You have the highway, and you have the gunshots, and you have Neo in the moment where he is the one, and he gets to show off being the one. It's pretty dope. I'm just saying. I think that yours is no different than any other shootout that I can watch in a Lethal Weapon movie. The only difference is that it's dark and people are in like green coats with green lighting and bullets are flying around. It's the same thing. Wachowski's just put a lot of CGI bullets in the middle. There's nothing different there. Mine, at least, is out in broad daylight, and you can see the action clearly, and a lot of cool shit's happening.
So tell me when the last Lethal Weapon movie you saw where people were literally walking on the walls, because that is something that happens in my sequence. Again, I want to clarify what I said at the beginning. I just clarified that the question is not most visually spectacular or coolest, because I knew that's basically all you have to argue on. My scenes have the visually spectacular elements, and it's cool. You have the guns flying. You have them literally like climbing on the sides of the walls, shooting at the guys. Like, you have all of that, but then you actually have the stakes for your story. Your thing is so convoluted. I have no idea why they're actually having this chase fight, and I saw that movie like 2 weeks ago.
Coming from the person whose favorite movie is Inception. Like, the action sequence, you don't have to know what's happening. It looks cool. Who cares? Who cares what the people are doing? I'm watching The Matrix. The Matrix plot is bullshit. Your ending means your fight scene has about as much visual stunning stimulation as Batman taking people out on the docks in the dark. I can't tell what's happening. That's the thing. If they're running on walls, I can't see it, because they made it so it was pitch black darkness. So you have to make up your mind. Is visually stunning the best or not? Because you keep flip-flopping even in this moment. So the reason why you can say that's all mine has, that's all you need in the Matrix. Who cares about Neo and the One and the relationships? Because at the end of the day, the movies don't care about that. The movies care about creating what is the coolest action set piece that ends up being the thing you remember. I think that's what makes it the best. It's the only thing we talk about from these movies anymore, is that the Wachowskis, who are visual storytellers, are able to craft something that no other action movie has been able to replicate well since it came out. That whole sequence is better than yours. You could say all this bullshit about stakes and this matters more because of this. But at the end of the day, I don't care about Morpheus in the sequels or in that movie because he doesn't matter. I'm watching an action shoot-'em-up movie.
Okay, first of all, for us to actually care about an action scene, though, we have to actually care about what's happening and why they're having this chase. If it's just things, then it's just a bunch of things happening. There's no real reason. It's essentially like watching a slinky go downstairs. That's all it is. It's watching a nice dominoes video of fancy dominoes falling over. That's what it is. And the reason I keep going back to, because my scene is visually spectacular. It is cool, but it's more than that. Your scene doesn't have any more than that. And I don't know what you're talking about with it's too dark to see, because you can clearly see what's going on in this scene. Maybe you need glasses? I don't know. Maybe you would look better with them. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day, my scene has everything that your scene has, plus actual stakes. I have no idea what is going on in your scene.
I don't care about the characters. I'm sorry. And maybe because you're someone who doesn't like action movies, you're like, I need to care. Clearly you don't. Action movies can just be cool. Something can just be cool for the sake of cool and still make it the best one. Yours, I can't tell what's happening. And that's because maybe you have a fancy OLED. I don't.
He said time, you jackass.
There was a lot of words in there we just can't have. Oh, I didn't hear him. Okay. Anyway, Koho, you're going to have a minute once both me and Bowen are gone.
Boat likes to try and pretend like an action movie needs to change the world with characters and stakes and like making you think that you have to be like a thinking man to enjoy an action movie. But sometimes something can just be cool, and that's the best one. I'm sorry. Sometimes something can just be cool and look cool. And Neo dodging bullets on the highway with a whole fleet of people is awesome. I'm sorry. I like being able to see my action in broad daylight. I think that a shootout in a hallway with an elevator is not that cool. The running on walls is done better in your own favorite movie like Inception. They do it better elsewhere. Mine, they don't. Not one action movie has been able to do as cool of Neo with the highway and the bullets and the bending and all of that anytime else. Yours has been done before 1,000 times later and better. Sorry, you picked the wrong one because you think that action movies need to be these think pieces, and you can say The Matrix might be, but these sequels suck. These characters suck. This world sucks. But this action set piece makes me interested enough to watch this movie again over and over to watch that scene. It's the best scene in any of these movies, and it's not close.
Time. All right. There's that. By Koho. Hello, Boatman. You have a minute to close out. You start talking.
Coolest has been an adjective that has been asked in questions in Fanzone multiple times. If that was what the question was about, that would have been the question. That is not the question. The question is about best, which, yes, does include visually spectacularness and coolness and all that stuff, but it also includes stakes and actually knowing what the heck is happening. And you still haven't been able to describe what the actual thing of, like, I don't need this fanciful, artsy, like, character study, but I at least want to know why we are doing the thing that we are doing. And frankly, you haven't even really been able to describe what actually happens in your scene. Like, you just said Neo does this, which is what he does in other movies. Like, you haven't actually described what happens in your scene. My scene has the visual spectacular, has the cool shootouts, it has the walking on walls, has all that, but we know what's happening. It's about going to save Morpheus. We understand what's happening, but it also is cool and is visually great.
Time. Okay. You got it. Oh, boy. All right. Let's just bring in everybody, because this is going to be something. Oh my god. Really wish I didn't have to open this.
I do not envy you all.
Did I miss Boatman changing his pick, by the way? In the chat, it was Neo versus Morpheus and Resurrections.
Oh, fuck.
Oh!
God, we didn't challenge it. We didn't challenge it. So that became the fight.
I didn't go look at the thing.
Don't change your answers. Don't change your answers.
I just assumed you had picked that thing. Oh,
I forgot that that's what I fucking picked. Please, Tim, what's the ruling on this?
Yeah, you gotta help me.
It's like, I mean, I couldn't prepare for that, but then anything else didn't call him on it. So
he didn't call him on it. I feel like
if he called him on it, I'd say it was disqualified. But
I didn't look at the answers.
He didn't call him on it. I feel like it has to stand. We went through the whole fight.
That's what I would say. Yeah, we went.
What a fucking dumbass move from both. I'm glad you both want a challenge for the belt at the end. You don't even know what the fucking answers are.
I almost
Holy
said halfway
shit!
through, but I'm like, no, he must have messaged Tim privately or something. I just missed
No,
it.
I mean, it has to stand. We went through the whole fight.
Look, I've had a long week. Okay.
Wow.
Well,
if I lose,
please don't let this
so that wasn't his answer.
I mean,
that's wow.
I'm gonna go with what we just got.
Yeah, you have to judge based on what.
Are we going to edit all this out?
No.
Who knows? We'll see how I feel that.
No, I want the world to know that they didn't know their own topic.
GG, I guess. I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, if it is, I'll give you a clean one.
No countdown. Just do it.
Okay. Well, oh my god, this is. I feel like this is kind of, what we got ourselves into. We should have known this probably is going to happen. It's just going to be.
This is question 1, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. I'm honestly really not sure, but I think just from my base aspect, I really wish I wasn't leading this one off, because I am going to give it to Boatman. Just. Listen, I don't know, and I think partly why I'm gonna go with Boatman here is because I don't really know a ton. I'm not the biggest Matrix guy, but I have seen enough about these movies to where I know what Koho picked, and I feel like he's describing stuff in that scene that didn't happen, at least parts, because I'm just trying to think in my head what is he and I feel like Boatman was at least able to describe the scene that he debated today. So and I mean to be honest, there's a lot of noise, but I'm gonna give the edge to Boatman because I feel like there's a little bit more knowledge about what was being talked about there.
Okay. I had a hard time through most of the debate. I didn't know who I was going to give this to because I wasn't really getting a whole lot of substance from either one. Honestly, what kind of clinched for me and finally let me pick one was when Boatman said about Koho that you haven't really told me what happened in your scene, which is true. I really don't know what happened in his scene that he's talking about. So I did vote for Kaleb. Honestly, yeah, I definitely would have voted against him if Koho had called him on the fact that he wasn't able to prepare for this debate, but it is what it is.
All right, Kirk. Doesn't matter what you say, but what do you got?
Yeah, well, first of all, Tim can check the record books. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first time hands has ever been called in a debate.
Yeah.
And of course,
Of course it was me. Who else would it ever be?
but I also went with Boatman. I think he was able to challenge Koho, and Koho's able to come back with questions of what was your scene about, what happens in your scene, and also. I agree with Boatman. Like, my memory of the scene, I haven't seen in a while, but I remember it being pretty well lit and pretty actually easy to see. So I'm glad that Boatman kind of pushed back on that because I'm not sure what Koho was watching, but I was able to follow this one pretty easily.
Okay.
I guess I have a poor man's TV.
Well, after that clean sweep and first question, Boatman's going to get the point. Lead us off. Let's see what else happens. All right. Goodbye,
I can't even
judges.
be mad.
Can I quick double check, make sure I know what my answer is?
Nope, not anymore. Not anymore.
I mean,
Boat hands. Hands, boat, hands.
just allow. I'll just allow. Who cares? Like I don't want another debacle. You good? We good?
Fine.
Yes,
Just have it out.
okay.
Yeah, we're fine.
I know what I'm actually
You
hurting.
don't
At
want
least
to write
I
it
knew
down?
what I picked.
Okay. Anyway, we're gonna move on to the second question, and we should just probably get rid of this one. And it's, I believe it was Pirates of the Caribbean. Who do you think brought this up? You know, it's Bo. And the question is, which character in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise had the most wasted potential? All right, that Koho drafted it. He's gonna get a minute to open us up, and please, I don't know what to say, but you got a minute.
So I think the most wasted potential of a character comes down to James Norrington. I think that ultimately in the first one, he's not serviced especially well. He just kind of gets to be the sidekick love interest cup that gets messed up at the end by the fucking Will Turner. And he gets some semblance of interest in Dead Man's Chest, but we don't get a lot of it because he's only in like the last 30 minutes. And then when we get to At World's End, he gets killed off right as he's becoming interesting. Right as he's gone back to the bad guy's side and has a moment to redeem himself and do something, they stab him in the heart and kill him. He doesn't get a hero's death. He doesn't get much of anything. And I don't care about Norrington's death as much as I should because it comes so quick and so fast. I'm more interested in Bootstrap killing him in that moment and what that does for that character than Norrington. There's so much potential, not just there, but to bring him back in 5 as part of Will's crew, as part of the Dead Man on the Flying Dutchman. I feel like there is so much potential for that character even after death that they just don't use. I think that Norrington's a character that got done so dirty that there's so much promise for him in Dead Man's Chest and a little bit in Curse of the Black Pearl that they just don't pay off in At World's End.
Time. All right. Good one. All right. Bye, Koho. Hello, Boatman. I think I've said that before already. But you're going to get a minute when you start talking.
You want to talk potential? The most famous pirate of all time, Blackbeard, played by Ian McShane. Perfect casting. Incredible casting. And what do they decide to do with him? Absolutely nothing. He gets sidelined. He doesn't even feel like the main villain of his movie. He gets completely sidelined, thrown to the side for the Penelope Cruz character. He's just not like, he doesn't even feel like the main antagonist of your movie. And he should be. It's Blackbeard. It's played by Ian McShane. Like, the potential here is so perfect. And we get nothing out of him. He sucks. Norrington was a character who was good at one point. Blackbeard never got to be.
Time. Okay. You just beat me. So with that, bringing in Koho again. And you guys get 5 minutes. And one of you starts.
You can not like On Stranger Tides all you want, but Ian McShane is amazing in it, and Blackbeard's the only thing worth watching in that movie because he's a terrifying, great villain. The dude kills his own daughter or attempts to. He manipulates Jack at every turn for his love for Angelica by getting him to jump off a literal cliff. He literally murders a whole colony of mermaids so he can get one tear out of one. And in order to manipulate out of her, kills a missionary who he was only keeping alive because his daughter wanted to save his soul. Blackbeard is a fucked up, terrifying, evil bad guy throughout this entire movie, and gets to show it at every single turn by how he manipulates his daughter, how he manipulates Jack, and actually murders so many people. He absolutely lives up to the promise. Norrington, on the other hand, does not get the chance to, because in the first two, we at least create some semblance of a character that will get some sort of a redemption arc, some sort of big moment, will be part of the factor of ending the series. And instead, he's thrown away as an opening scene where he gets to have the sword, and then next time we see him, he gets stabbed. That's it.
All right. So first off, you have basically described every single Blackbeard moment in the movie, and most of those moments are not actually focused on because he doesn't feel like he actually gets that much focus within the actual movie. Like, yes, all that you're describing on paper sounds very cool, but in action, it doesn't work. And no, I am not disrespecting Ian McShane. Ian McShane does a great job with the crap that he has to work with, but we don't actually get to have Blackbeard feel like this unstoppable antagonist. We get these moments, but it's sidelined for stuff we don't care about, like the love interest with Penelope Cruz stuff. That shouldn't be what the movie is. It should be focused on just Blackbeard. But no, we don't get that. We're sidelined and we're sidetracked. Norrington is a character who we get a lot of great moments with and a lot of great things, and who I think is fully realized. He says that I think in death, basically, he's not the hero. I think giving him a hero's ending would suck. I think keeping him true of like he could redeem himself and he doesn't is such like a perfect summation of that character.
Absolutely not true. But first and foremost, it's clearly you haven't watched Lost Racial Science since 2011, because Blackbeard's literal introduction, which is absolutely focused on him, is him overrunning a literal mutiny run by Jack Sparrow that has succeeded twice in the series before. It pays off things that Jack has done, and he can't beat Blackbeard, which instantly tells us from jump where he starts killing innocent people that he signed up for his ship, because he overcomes Jack like he's nothing, which Davy Jones and others couldn't do. So the fact that he is set up from jump, beating Jack Sparrow in first introduction, and the only reason he doesn't kill Jack is because of how much he loves his daughter, which is a very interesting relationship subplot of how they're manipulating each other, is really good. He is great throughout this entire thing, and every scene is focused on him. Everything that he is in, he is the focal point of the scene. 100%. He is never relegated to the background once. Again, you're saying James Norrington doesn't deserve a hero's ending, but he does, because he's a hero in the first movie. The only reason that we don't think of him as a hero is because he's after the literal pirate Jack Sparrow. He is a hero that deserves more.
Okay, so first of all, moving back to what you're talking about, yes, the scenes that he is in, he's in, but I'm talking about the rest of the movie that he's not in. That's what I'm describing. Like you said, yes, he's in the scenes that he is in, but I'm talking about all the stuff that he isn't in that he should be in more of. The movie doesn't give us enough of him to actually feel like he's a full-blown antagonist. You also said, oh yeah, he does the thing where he actually is able to mutiny Jack. And it's like, what are you talking about? Other characters in the movie haven't done that. Barbosa literally did that in the first movie.
No. You misheard entirely my point.
Literally, things lifetime.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
That is what you said. Maybe that's not.
No, it isn't. No. What I said. No, I did. What I said.
I'll let you talk, but this is my turn. Over to Norrington. The thing you're talking about, I don't want to make him a hero. I don't want to make him a good guy. I think he's so much more interesting as this anti-hero character. I think making him a hero would suck so much.
Okay, what I said was that Jack Sparrow leads the mutiny and no one stops Jack Sparrow when he's mutinying other people. He's done that twice in the series where he takes over someone else's shit and gets away with it. He does it to Beckett, he does it to Davy Jones, and he does it to Norrington. So to see Blackbeard stop him and cut him off at the head of the thing he does best, that's what I said. Jack Sparrow's power is removed by Blackbeard from the first scene. Blackbeard's presence is felt in every single scene. Something that we can't say about Davy Jones in Dead Man's Chest, because tell me why the Pile of Ghosts is where Davy Jones is in practice felt. Blackbeard in every single scene from the first moment, his presence is felt. From when Jack is getting Gibbs out of prison, his presence is felt. Norrington is a hero. He is the love interest of the first movie, and he's a good person. He is not a bad guy, and he should have gotten a hero's ending.
Time. All right, hero's ending. Hero's ending. Strike it. Okay. All right, Boatman. You're gonna get a minute to close this shit out. Okay.
If Blackbeard's presence is felt within that opening chase and with Jack trying to rescue Gibbs, then Blackbeard's presence isn't being done right, because that's goofy and like fun. Like it's a fun sequence, but either you're just straight up BSing when you say you feel Blackbeard's presence, or Blackbeard's presence isn't what it should be, because that is completely wrong tone for that. Norrington is a character who got the perfect ending for him. I think he is so much more interesting as this like chaotic anti-hero displaced after being bested by Jack Sparrow, working with them but working against them, playing all these chess moves, and then ultimately defeated by the fact that he's doing that. I think that is so interesting. If you just made him a hero, that would be so generic and so lame. It'd be so predictable. It would be Disney candy corn. I love what we got. We didn't get enough of Blackbeard.
Okay. All right. Time on that one. I don't know why he's holding up his hand. All right, bye, Boatman. And here comes in Koho. And you're going to get a minute when you start talking.
Norrington is a lawful good from the first scene. He's not chaotic, he's not plotting, and he's not anything. He is literally, in his first moment, a king's man, a literal navyman. So when he starts working for the Navy again in the third movie, and he sees how corrupted it is, he should turn. He should turn back to be on the side of the pirates and do something good. But he doesn't get that chance. He just gets killed by the bad guys in the final moments of his life. He doesn't get that necessary arc that they set up from the first. Norrington is not the person Boatman's describing whatsoever, because he's never seen a Pirates movie. Blackbeard, in that first scene, in On Stranger Tides, literally Barbossa's missing his leg, which sets the threat that Blackbeard did that to Barbossa, who has beaten Jack Sparrow. From every turn, Blackbeard is shown throughout the entire movie as having been the most terrifying person Jack Sparrow's going to face, to the point where he beats Jack at every turn throughout the entire movie, killing people willy-nilly and being a terrifying, menacing villain. What more do you want? He is Davy Jones level bad guy throughout the entire movie. You just don't like the movie. Norrington was done wrong from beginning to end.
Get in. Out of here. I was able to get that one. All right. Okay. All right, let's just bring everybody back in. This is this really is just an enviable task. Yeah, it's getting screwed around. Go around here, and I gotta write down my answer. Man, I don't know how Tim does this. I really don't. Especially on days like today. You know, whenever he does come back, he's gonna be even more of a hero because he's got a baby. He's got to like do all this and the baby. Okay, I'll just write it down, and we can just stop it.
He'll probably just make the baby run the stream.
Just be training Ellie, like from the moment she can walk, she like is learning to edit the videos.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I know where direction. Kirk, I'm pretty sure you're starting this off right. That's right?
Yes.
Cool. Kirk, go. You're muted.
You're muted. Well, I'll take it. Thank you.
I'm with Koho. I think that what really got me was that Boatman kept saying, you know, Blackbeard's not the focus, Blackbeard's not the focus, and Koho kept coming up with examples of how Blackbeard is the focus. I also think Koho won the debate about Norrington and whether or not he deserved the redemption. I think I like to, you know, he pointed out that from the beginning, you know, from the movie's perspective, he's the bad guy because he's chasing our heroes, but he's, you know, in the world of the movie, he's a good guy, and I like that argument. And also, a little touchy through at the very beginning when he said how it would have been cool to have him in Davy Jones's crew or Will's crew in the fifth one. I think that would have been a cool thing too. So, for all those reasons, I went with Koho.
Yeah. Gotta tell you, kind of for the pretty much the same reason that Kirk just said. Also going with Koho. It looks scribbly, but yeah. You know, I just think, yeah, just kind of comes short and sweet in this one. You know, one of these guys here really knows these movies, and the other just, you know, he doesn't. So whenever we just kind of get that, you know, just it's kind of where the fight goes. Brian, what do you got?
Well, I agree with Koho. I think Norrington's absolutely the most underused, but I have to judge based on the debate, not on my opinion. Luckily for him, it was still a landslide.
Well, and with that, got 2 more clean sweeps, or 2 more. Got one of the. What? God, oh my God, this is what you guys do to me. Okay, we're all frazzled. I'm just gonna take out the judges, and we're just gonna keep on rolling here because we're going to go over to our 3rd question. It's a Warzone category in directors, and was Woody Allen. So your next question: which Woody Allen film between 1975 and 1995 should be remade? Is Boatman's category. So he is going to get a minute to open it up for us whenever you decide to start talking.
I think movies should only be remade if the remake can improve upon the film. And so I picked a Woody Allen film that had a great idea and even a good script, but had one primal flaw. And I'm picking Zelig, which is a film, where it's about a man who is essentially, he's a human chameleon. He takes on the characteristics, personality-wise, of the other people that he is around. And I think that's a really interesting idea of someone who just when he's exposed to other people, he starts to essentially act personality-wise like them. And I think that's really interesting. The problem is that character is played by Woody Allen, who can't play anyone other than a Woody Allen type. So you essentially got him being nervous, but he has to be all these other things, and it doesn't really work. Put a good actor in that role.
Time. Okay, I think you just beat me. Go there. Bring in Koho. He's gonna have 1 minute to open his argument when he starts talking.
So I think the most interesting idea that seems primed to be redone with good people is Love and Death. I think you can take the idea of a soldier and his cousin and these ragtags trying to kill Napoleon. I think you can take that and make a great Death of Stalin kind of comedy today with Adam Driver and Daniel Kaluuya, and you can take some really good funny guys who are not your Jason Bateman level, oh, we know these guys for comedy, but can bring that drama that you would associate with this Shakespearean sort of, we're going to kill a larger than life person and do this oh, we're bad at it. We're not good at this thing, and have these guys do it. I think it'd be really funny. I think that you'd be able to tap into a really fun side of a lot of different people. And you could do justice to this thing that I'm gonna be honest, Woody Allen killing Napoleon does not even seem funny or believable. So I'm really cool with redoing it with good people.
Time. All right. I'm gonna open this one up. Yeah, whenever you guys go.
So first of all, Elephant in the Room. Love and Death is a great movie. It's a really funny time, and it really works. And I also think you don't quite understand the plot because, yes, it's about that. But Woody Allen is perfect for that role because he's a guy who doesn't want to kill Napoleon. He does not want to do this, but he's also got the hots for this lady, so he's going to, but he doesn't want to, and that's perfect for that role. And he is perfectly cast as this nervous guy who has to try to kill Napoleon. And if you try to remake this, you're going to lose all of the satire of Russian literature that's going on and everything else under the surface. It's not going to work. Zelig is a movie that fundamentally needs a different actor in that role that can be both funny and dramatic.
So what's telling me is what this sounds like is you want to make Borat again with Sacha Baron Cohen. Because this is when I looked at this is a documentary of a guy who disappears. That's Borat. You're just pitching me another thing that they're going to end up this might not be what you want, but it's what they're going to do. They're going to put Sacha Baron Cohen out there doing improv jokes and improv drama with his little shot script, and they're going to do it, and that's what's going to be. It's not going to be the thing you want, because at the end of the day, that's all your concept is good for. It's going to turn into another dictator, another Borat, another one of those, because that's all they understand. Whereas mine, Death of Stalin, is the template. Literally, it exists. You can have people who understand that subtext, because clearly Woody Allen, huge Russian subtext guy, would be really good at doing that story. I feel like the entertainment value of giving this a Steven Soderbergh would be really great, where you can have this sort of you can build on that idea of these two characters, add more. You can do more with the story.
Okay. So first of all, you don't get to decide how my movie is going to be remade. Or no, you don't. You don't get to decide that because that's fine. I say your movie's going to end up like The Dictator. That's how your movie's going to end up like. No, you don't get to decide how my movie's going to be remade. I'm saying it should be remade and can be improved. And the way that I think you can, and I also don't think this is nothing like Borat. I don't get where you're even getting that from, besides the fact that it's a mockumentary. This is a movie. This is a movie about essentially feeling alienated, feeling like an outsider. And there's a lot of funny bits, but there's also a lot of drama here. And again, I think you put an actor who can actually be all these different things, and it not only becomes funnier, but it also works better dramatically. Your movie that you're describing, hey, you're digging on the Russian literature thing. The movie is literally listed, even on Wikipedia, as being like a satire of like your Tolstoy War and Peace type things. So I don't get what you're talking about, but it's literally is that. And again, the movie itself is great, and we shouldn't be remaking great movies. We should be remaking movies that haven't figured out how to work out yet.
The point is, there's a lot here that you can repurpose into something new and fun. I'm saying a Woody Allen black and white comedy from 1975 that you and your dad are the only people alive who have seen doesn't mean it needs to be preserved forever. I'm sorry, a lot of Woody Allen movies are dog shit and they can be redone. You just like Woody Allen. The thing is, you can say the dig. No, you can keep that Russian literature thing intact. That's not going to go away. The Death of Stalin proved you can do shit like that. I'm just saying, give it to actually good actors that aren't named Woody Allen, to actually good directors that aren't named Woody Allen, and put it in a modern context where we can do more with the idea of monarchism and leadership and political leads and have fun with it. What I'm telling you is that your idea is nothing more than I'm Not Here, or Borat, or these dumb throwaway mockumentary, like we're going to have this one person be this one weird thing for an hour and 45 minutes that don't do well and they're not fun. I'm just saying your idea is good as it is, as a thing in the past.
Hey, you're describing it as this mockumentary where he's this one weird thing this whole time. But that's the brilliance of this character, and why it will work is because he's a million different things. He is not this one weird thing. He's going to get to play a million different things. This is a role that could win the actor who plays him an Oscar. You know what? Put Daniel Day-Lewis in it. Put Daniel Day-Lewis in this role. Yes, it'll be a little bit more comedic, but he like dabbles there in some moments in Phantom Thread, and I think he can do it. But I'm not saying it has to be Daniel Day-Lewis. You can put somebody in here with comedy and dramatic chops and make it work. At the end of the day, also, just want to touch on this. You clearly know nothing of Love and Death because the movie is not in black and white. It's not even in black and white. You said it was in black and white.
This is a black and white
really
version.
Funny, well-done movie, and it shouldn't be remade because it's already great. If you want to watch this movie, guess what? Go watch this movie.
I would rather watch it without Woody Allen in it because he's a bad actor and a bad director. So that's what I'm saying. You can do this with good people. What I'm saying is there's a good idea here that can be fleshed out. Add to the plot. Add more supporting characters that can add to the humor of it. Give me an ensemble cast with a great director like Soderbergh that plays into that element of it. Yours is not going to get any better with a different guy. It's a bad idea from jump.
There was like bad idea from jump. Oh, yeah, we gotta get out of here. Okay. Well, with that, you're gonna get a chance to keep on talking, Koho. You got 1 minute to close it out. Let's go.
He keeps jumping on the idea that this could win you an Oscar. When has the Oscars ever given anything to comedy? The thing is, your movie from the get-go is this idea that is not palatable. It's not interesting. And I've seen people do we disguise ourselves and go do things in public and we're going to pretend to be other people. And I watched it twice with Borat. I watched it when Casey Affleck and Joaquin Phoenix made their movie. I watch it all the time when it comes out, and it's never good. It's never that good. So you keep pitching this thing. I just don't think it's going to be interesting because at the end of the day, that person has to pretend to be a bunch of different people, but it's all these bad, stilted comedy bits where you know James Corden's going to be in it for one scene for a talk show. It's going to happen. They always corrupt these things. Mine, you can take the core idea of we're going to kill Napoleon and it's going to be funny and put Adam Driver and Daniel Kaluuya and give it to Soderbergh. Put Clooney in it as Napoleon if you want. Literally put some big actor at the top and make it this really fun ensemble comedy that, can still comment on Russian literature, but it's something that I would rather watch than Woody Allen just his way through another one.
Time. Okay. Goodbye. Hello. 1 minute. Let's go.
Koho's big hit on Zelig being remade is that it's a mockumentary, and saying that because it's a mockumentary, it's going to end up like Borat or Bruno or whatever. But there's a lot of great mockumentaries. There's all the Christopher Guest movies. There's countless great mockumentaries. And he keeps saying, well, this is what Hollywood does. This is what they're going to do with it. But then he says, oh, he gets to decide that Soderbergh gets to make his movie and do all these things. So he's deciding how his movie is going to go, but I don't get to decide how my movie is going to go. He's also says comedies don't win Oscars, but literally Woody Allen, Annie Hall won a bunch of Oscars, so that point's negated. At the end of the day, Love and Death is a really funny, clever movie that already exists, and Woody Allen is perfect for the role that he is in. He plays that nervous, awkward character to a T and is perfect for it. You know what character he is not perfect for and actually deserved to be replaced with someone else? It's Zelig, a character that's complex and has to be all these different things. Plus, Love and Death has Diane Keaton and a great Diane Keaton performance. I don't want to lose that either.
All right, that's it. Oh boy, that really is it. Okay. And, man, I really like how to just it's already have to have it, you know, where it's already just kind of the way I want to just move it around a bunch. I think I said this too, you know, like I think Tim is always really good at, you know, filling in that dead air, and yeah, I just feel like I just talk. You know.
And we're all just silent, just let you flounder.
There's that. Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to. Okay. We good?
Just a second.
Okay.
Koho, why do I know the name Andrew Barth Feldman?
He was in German.
Thank you. Because I know he's the guy from No Hard Feelings. I was like, why do I also... Oh, and he was Linguini in the freaking TikTok Ratatouille thing.
I was going to avoid TikTok Ratatouille, but yes.
How do we forget that? All right. Brian, why don't you go ahead and tell us who won?
I can't tell you who won. I got first vote. I'm the one person who can't tell you who won. Yeah. I know nothing about Woody Allen movies, especially these two. Never heard. I mean, well, I've heard the titles, but don't know anything about them. So I am going purely off the debate here. And as far as the picture they paint for me of both what the film was about, why it should be remade, they gave some ideas of what their remake would look like. I don't know. I lean ever so slightly to Koho.
Alrighty. Kirk, who you got? I think you're muted again.
Muted.
Sorry, there's a lot of background noise here.
Cool.
It was hard for me too because I have not seen either of these movies, so I had to go, completely on the arguments. So I went with basically who convinced me that theirs would be the best remake / needed to be remade, and I ended up going with Boatman. I think he just had some better points as to what could come of his movie. And I also agree with him. I think Koho tried to pull that thing where it was like, here's all the bad things that are going to be in your movie, and here's all the good things that are going to be in my movie. So I'm glad that Boatman pushed back on that, because I think that was a little, that was kind of, I don't know, out of school. But yeah, ultimately, I think I'd rather, having not seen the originals, based on the arguments, I'd rather see Boatman's movie.
Alrighty. Hey, the first one going to be decided by one of us. Yeah. This is kind of the same way. Look, we got three guys up here. I don't think, maybe we've seen like 2 Woody Allen movies, between the three of us. But so yeah, going off the argument and really just kind of going from the maxim of kind of what maybe I think kind of deserves that second shot and deserves a remake. I did go with Kaleb with a C. So I just think at the end of the day, I think he kind of better explained why the movie that we have right now doesn't really cut it. Probably deserves a second chance. We probably could get something interesting out of it. So with that, Boatman gonna get the point on that one. He's gonna go up 2-1, going into our final question, or our final planned question, I guess is what I should say. What the hell? I went into full screen mode. It scared the shit out of me. But with that, it is a fandom category. It is of a Marvel / MCU. It was drafted by Mr. Kaleb Koho. And that question, final playing question, is with Iron Man and Cap gone, which character should take on a bigger role as the new face of the MCU? And since it is Koho's category, he's going to get a minute. Open up for us. All right, good luck.
When I think of what Captain America brought as the face of the MCU, I think of this noble, like, lead person that I can look to as the whole universe can get behind this person. That this person is going to lead us into an endgame situation, and they can shout out Avengers Assemble, and the whole universe runs forward with them. And I think Sam Wilson was poised to do that from the beginning, and now he's here, and it's his time. I think that he is an incredible character to begin with, that has such a great history as this guy who comes from similar roots as Steve, but has a very different way about going about everything, as proven in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. And already he's just got this new sort of idea about where we can go in the MCU, this new sense of nobility and this new sense of what's right. And I think that he is the right person to lead the MCU. I think with a whole world of characters who are going to be looking to someone to take the reins against Kang and to help them move forward in a post-snap society, I feel like Sam Wilson, as someone who was snapped, gets to come back and lead that section while bringing hope to the people who were here from the beginning by being trained by the ones who did.
Time. Okay, that. Bring in Boatman. And you're going to have a minute. Let's go.
The MCU is in an early 2000s Oakland A's type situation right now. We lost Iron Man. We lost Cap. And you know what? We're not going to be able to replace them. So let's not. Let's not try to find new Cap or new Iron Man. Let's get our own character who's just, that's the character. We're not calling them new Cap. We're not, this isn't the new Iron Man. Let's go with Shang-Chi. This is a character who feels incredibly unique, his own thing, doesn't just feel like a, you know, like a Tony Stark Jr., like Doctor Strange or Ant-Man feel like, and doesn't feel like a Cap Jr. like Sam Wilson does. This is a character who feels like his own thing entirely and will have room to actually grow and grow with this new era of the MCU. I want something new. Let's not hang on to the past. Let's go with Shang-Chi.
Okay. Solid stuff. Okay. 5 minutes. Let's finish it.
The biggest problem with Sam Wilson is that he's just going to feel like it's not Captain America. You are always going to be comparing him to Cap. And that is the biggest problem. I don't want a character who's going to just feel like discount Wish brand Captain America. I want a new face entirely, and that's what Shang-Chi is going to be.
Sam Wilson has already shown that he can stop a world-ending threat as an Avenger, as a Falcon, and already as Captain America in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, where he already stopped a whole group of flag-smashing terrorists by giving a great conversation that shows in front of everyone he's a new Captain America, a different Captain America, someone who believes that the errors of the past are a problem. He is his own character from jump. Shang-Chi literally is the most unreliable and most irresponsible character we've been introduced to. I think the perfect face of the MCU is someone who, after saving the world, goes, maybe I should go to work in the morning. Nah, I'm going to go get drunk with Wong and sing karaoke again. After the whole movie before at the beginning, where he was supposed to learn responsibility, doesn't learn that lesson whatsoever. And at the end of the movie, is the same character as he was from the beginning. He just has cool rings this time. Shang-Chi is a really fun action set piece, but Sam Wilson brings a new kind of distinguished lead to the franchise. Just because he has the same name doesn't mean he's the same character.
Okay. One of our old faces of the MCU literally peed in his own suit at a party, so I have no idea what you're talking about responsibility being the main factor for being the face of the MCU. But also, to that point, how much more awesome... Hold on, you got to talk the whole time. How much more awesome will it be when Shang-Chi does live up to that by the next big team-up movie and actually has grown into his responsibilities? Like, I think that will be such a cool arc. Your argument for Sam Wilson is, yes, he did the cool things that the writers wrote him to do, but at the end of the day, you even said he's the new Cap. That's the problem, is I want a new face. I want something different.
okay, Shang-Chi's only cool because the writers told him to pick up rings and punch his dad in the face. If that's the arguments we're making, great. Also, you're like, oh, I want something new, but then you're picking another irresponsible person to lead the series. You're picking the new Iron Man. Shang-Chi from the first movie is introduced as this is the Tony Stark replacement. He is literally an irresponsible guy who won't do his responsibilities, and his best friend is the same person. You picked the new Tony Stark. He's the new cool action figure. But my guy literally looks at the sins of Steve Rogers and goes, I need to be better and different. He literally looks at the past in his show and says, I'm not doing that. So just because he's got the name Captain America doesn't mean he's still the new Captain America. He's Sam Wilson. I am Captain America. This is the new MCU. And that's better than you picking some guy who just takes the highlight reel of Tony Stark and has rings.
First of all, he's not new Tony Stark. He's nothing like Tony Stark. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yes, I brought the fact that Tony was responsible because your big silver bullet on Shang-Chi is that he wasn't responsible one time. But I think there's a difference between going out karaokeing and peeing in a suit and, you know, flings with Playboy models and all that stuff. So I think that's kind of ridiculous. And also I want to say, this is Multiplex Fanzone, as in movies. We don't have Fandom TV in this category anymore, so stop bringing all this stuff that happened in the TV show.
It matters. It's canon. I can't help it that the only canon for this character so far is in a TV show. So you have to grow up and get over it, Mr. I don't watch TV. So
no, you don't get to argue TV. I don't get to start argue. You don't argue TV. This is movie debates.
Okay. All right. We're not arguing TV. So stay off the TV.
That's the only thing I've got for this character so far. Okay, fine. In the movies that we have so far, he's a better character than Shang-Chi in the 3 movies he's got with Captain America and the Avengers, where he beat Thanos. All right, fine. You want to go just off the movies? He beat Thanos, okay? So he was there at the final fight. He's been by Cap's side. He's the most trusted, responsible human in the franchise. And at this point, he can lead that, even if he were Falcon or Captain America or not. Your issue, once again, is you want to be like, oh, whatever. You want to jump him to where Tony is in Endgame by Kang Dynasty without having another Shang-Chi or another team-up movie. The universe cannot escalate him on a fast-track schedule to get there. Let's move on. He talked over me.
Okay, anyway, he's the new, if he's going to be the new phase, he's going to be able to have those opportunities. That doesn't necessarily mean he needs to be the one to say in the very next movie, he's going to be the new face. He's going to be the guy. And at the end of the day, even if he does, he did karaoke once. Let the guy celebrate his victory and have a good time. Let the guy, you got to let a guy who's able to actually hang loose.
There's a difference. There's a difference between celebrating and ignoring your responsibilities, Boat. I'm sorry. There's a difference.
That's it. We're done.
Nice to talk.
Okay.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Karen.
Okay. Jesus Christ. All right. Bowman, you got a minute. Please, God. Go.
At the end of the day, according to the movies, we haven't been given anything of Sam Wilson that actually shows that he will work as the new face of the MCU. At the end of the day, Sam Wilson is just discount Cap. That is the problem. He's a good character, but he hasn't given us anything more. And we need a new, fresh character to be our face of the MCU. And that's Shang-Chi, who, yes, he can be a little irresponsible, but that doesn't mean, like, at the end of the day, he went karaokeing. I don't think that's a giant crime. Like, I think it's totally valid to, after defeating a villain, that he wants to have fun. If he was just a stick in the mud, that would be even worse. He was just like, no, I'm going to do this. No, he actually is a character who both knows how to fight and be serious, but also have a good time. And I think that's a great, unique twist of combination to be our new face of the MCU rather than just a weaker version of what we already have.
All right, there we go. Okay. Good Lord. Okay. Here we go. Koho, you got a minute.
Bo's entire argument is that, oh, he's irresponsible, and that means he should lead the MCU in the Here's the thing. It is a literal character trait that they are telling you from the beginning that he's an irresponsible human being. And I think that this is crazy to be like, oh, this one really cool action figure should lead the MCU off of one appearance here, where we have Sam Wilson, who he wants to go as discount Cap, has literally saved Iron Man, Captain America, and Shang-Chi himself by being part of every major event in the MCU. He's been in the trenches with every MCU character and has the caliber to lead because he's done it in the military and he does it with the Avengers as the right hand. He leads entire missions in Infinity War on his own. So at the end of the day, Sam Wilson is not Diet Cap. He is the most respected person left in a world where half the Avengers are dead or retired. Whereas this kid from San Francisco, who at the end of the day doesn't do much except I have inherited rings to punch people. He's the new Hulk. He's the new Iron Man. He's the heavy hitter. He's not the leader that strategizes and leads and inspires. That is Sam Wilson, not your guy.
Okay. All right. Let's just bring everybody back in. Okay.
I'm just waiting to get some clarification on something, Mark.
Alrighty. Okay. After a lot of talk, this is I just want to point out, we did I'm not sure where this is going to be in the video, but we did a finished fight. But because of what happened, I do want to make one thing clear: just rules, precedent, going to be decided at the end of the season. It'll be brought up later. But at least for this match, this is what we're going to do. Because TV and stuff was talked about a lot, and it was not shut down immediately. And because of that, for this match only, we're going to give each debater here just an extra minute to debate their topic. It's going to be happen same again. I'm going to come in 10 seconds, tell you when you're done. Same thing. And after that is when we're going to score it. So with that, we're going to start off with Boatman, and he's going to give us a minute of extra innings.
Throughout the entirety of what Sam Wilson does, whether it be the movies or the TV show, it all goes to show that he is just new Captain America. That is what they are framing at him as. They're just trying to make him the new Cap. Koho even said he's the new Cap. And I don't want a new Cap, because at the end of the day, any character that you frame as essentially your Captain America equivalent in your world, guess what's going to happen? He's just not going to feel like Captain America, because we have a Captain America. We had a Captain America. The new face of the MCU should be an entirely new thing. That's who your face should be, not an Iron Man, not the Cap, who are both listed as face. Here's your Iron Man and your Cap. It doesn't necessarily need to be a new Cap, as Koho is arguing to be the face. It should be someone entirely new, and that's Shang-Chi, who gives us somewhere in between the two of them as our perfect new face, new interesting character, unlike just discount Cap.
Okay. Some man there, Cap, strike it. And we're going to bring in Koho, and he is going to have an extra minute to argue his point. He starts talking.
The entire point of the Falcon and Winter Soldier is that he is redefining what it means to be Captain America. He has the same name. He's not the same hero. He's a different person who has a whole different belief system and is trying to be even better than Steve. They're not the same person. And that's why he's right, because he is cut from the same cloth, but has a new mentality about how to lead this world and how to go forward in an age where half the population is gone. He is sympathetic, he cares, and he is understanding, and yet he is not afraid to stand up for the little guy the way Steve does. He takes the mantle of Captain America and does something totally new with it. The issue you have with Shang-Chi is that he is a character inherently written to be an irresponsible, reckless fighter. He destroys a bus by cutting it in half and endangering a bunch of people. He endangers the entire city of Macau, and you can say it's the origin, but at the end of the day, that's all we have to go on. He is too young, he is too fresh-faced, and he's not ready to be the face of something where he is too irresponsible and too damage-heavy to run. He's a cool action figure. He'll be a great Hulk. But at the end of the day, Sam Wilson is the most mature and right person to lead the universe.
Done. I think Ben did all right. I think it's not it. Okay. God damn it. Keep going full screen here. It's annoying the hell out of me. No, okay. Okay. I guess you guys got are you going with? Yeah, all right. Well, oh boy. This one was a tough one to go off of. think it was an interesting question nonetheless. And then we just, but I think ultimately, I think where I'm just kind of leading. I think who I think kind of, I think who would probably fit better, at least especially like with what the MCU I think is turning into, and I think because of that, the one I am going to lean a little bit more is Boatman, right there. I kind of vibed if at least his argument a little bit of where like it feels like Sam Wilson feels like it's still a bit of a replacement of Cap, and I feel like a lot of like Koho's attacks on him, whether it, like he is kind of the same as Iron Man, didn't really land with me all that well. So that's why I ended up going with Boatman. Brian, who are you going with?
I actually went with Koho. For me, I think he pitched even without all the TV stuff that we were not considering. I think that he pitched that Sam Wilson is shown leadership skills. He has been passed the mantle by Captain America himself. And then also his comments that Shang-Chi was too young, too immature, maybe not ready for that, and there's not going to be like enough time for him to like really step up that fast. So I vote for Koho.
All right, Kirk, split it up for us.
Geez, I hate this. Yeah, it was hard because I mean, I think on paper there's one that's the right answer. And going back and forth in debate, it was tough because they both made good points and they were both coming at from very different angles. But ultimately, I did have to go with Boatman. I just feel that I think he did a really good job pointing out that even, you know, as Koho was arguing that, you know, yeah, he's a new take on Cap, new has no ideas. Boatman really did a good job that where even if he's a new version, he's still dealing with that legacy and under that shadow, and he's not going to he's not going to overcome that. I don't love the idea of Shang-Chi in general, but I do like the idea of some new blood, some new ideas. I think because, in my personal opinion, the MCU is stagnated with like bringing back old stuff, and just bringing in new characters, you know, a fresh start is probably the best idea. So it was close, but I had to give that one to Boatman.
Well, for that, and your winner, Kaleb Boatman, he's going to be going on to the finals of this debate tournament. Let's just go and talk to our second place finisher today, Mr. Koho. You know what? You came in. I feel like just as a whole, you gave us the match I think we were kind of hoping to see on some level. Kind of want to just a couple friends just kind of going at it here, and I think still I think you kind of brought up some pretty good stuff. Just didn't quite go your way today. How do you feel like you did today?
It's whatever. Fucking sucks. He brings out the worst in me, and I was doing really well by keeping that like I'll let him take shots first, so I'll try and step in. But he also just has the most punchable face, and it makes it really hard for me to not get involved the way I used to. So it definitely. He's also really easy to fuck with, and it happens throughout it. And I think this was the wrong group of judges to bring that style out with, but I couldn't help it, so it's fine. I'm a little bummed that I'm out of the tournament. I hope I have another shot at that belt this year, but we'll see. Boats still the B player on our future dreamt up universal multiversal dream walk team that I made up once in a dream, and we'll fight again. I hate losing to people I'm friends with. It drives me nuts.
Well, with that, send your run here in the tournament. I only work here as the thing. You are with that sentiment. I don't know what's coming up next. Who do you want to argue
God,
with?
Who do I not want to play? It's more so a thing where it's like I people that I've lost to, I want to fight again. It's like I want to fight Cam again. I want to fight Jacoby again more than anyone in this world. That's the one rematch I've been hoping for this entire tournament. I wanted to fight Jacoby again because the first time he got me in a way where I was just not ready, and now I feel ready. I want to play Jacoby again because I feel like it'll go very different in the rematch. So I definitely want to play Jacoby again. I'll say Jacoby.
Okay, fair enough. Well, say goodbye to you for now. And we'll bring in our winner today. It's Mr. Kaleb Boatman. Boatman, I gotta tell you, from most of this tournament run, it feels like maybe you probably didn't want to go as far as you wanted to in this tournament, and you're still here. So And now you're going to be in the finals. How do you feel about that?
You know, it's one of those things where I don't want to keep winning. I was like, okay, I get my record up, and I was like, okay, cool. I've got my record up to a good spot, and then because I'm busy right now, and then I just keep like, I feel like that's a weird thing to say, but it's like, but then when I actually get in the match, I want to win. And I forget the fact that I like want to take a break from this, because when Koho says something stupid, I just as in real life, I want to be like, "Hey, no, wait a minute, that's not correct. I need to call you out on this." So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well,
I'm just saying words at this point. I don't even know what I'm saying.
Well, this is what's going to happen. You're going to play the winner of Cameron Holzman or Jacoby Bancroft. Who do you want to play most?
Okay, so Jacoby would be very interesting because I have played Jacoby before, and that is a match where that was in the old format, where Game of Thrones was still a category. And if I decided to put on a movie as a category, cool, both of us could watch that movie because it's 2 hours. I didn't have the time to watch the entirety of Game of Thrones in order to prepare for my debate, especially when the question was regarding on which season was better. Now, and still that question went to the speed round. So now it's all movies all the time. That could go better for me. If it's Holtzman, that's scary. Not necessarily because, like, Holtzman is a great debater, don't get me wrong, but it's scary specifically because I think I have a unique style of debating that I don't think a whole lot of people have, and I think I'm very inclined to the more aggressive style of debating. Holtzman is probably the one person who debates in who basically debates in the style very similar to my own. So it's kind of going to basically just be two punches of equal strength hitting each other. So that's going to be really interesting because we're basically just going to keep matching. It's going to be like a fight with the Taskmaster. Like we just hit every punch.
All right then. Well, we'll look forward to that. Let's say goodbye for now. See you again later on. And, guys, we agreed to be here. So, and we did it. I think we should just say, we did it. It's over. I'll just let you guys talk. Brian, please.
Yeah, I was starting to feel like I was back in Other Guys versus Coming to Warzone. For somebody who doesn't want to keep winning, it kind of gets a little heated there. Yeah, I mean, this is... it's interesting to see them get so at each other's throats when you know that they're friends, and you can tell after the match they both are perfectly fine, but it's when they're in the ring it's just crazy. But yeah, I mean it was a good debate. Honestly, if Koho had just said you changed your answer from what you picked in the chat, we'd be into a speed round. So, but that's how it goes.
Yep. Kirk, what do you got?
Yeah. I kind of hate the way this ended because the first 3 debates I was pretty solid on who I picked, and the last one was the most up in the air for me. And the fact that I had to cast the decided, I mean, I know it's 2-1 no matter what, but just being the decided vote there was tough. But no, they both played well. Boatman sounds like a lot like me in my first tournament run, where they'd be like, "Hey, you have another match coming up." Like, "Oh, that's cool," and then I keep I'm probably not going to win, and I just keep winning, and then before I do, it's an title match. So maybe there's something to that. Maybe that's the way to go into these things, is to not stress about them too much. Yeah, I mean, either way, moving forward, Jacoby or Holtzman, that'll be a good match for him.
Yeah, I mean, not stressing about these matches is a foreign concept to me, but we're gonna move on. We're just gonna get out of here, and thank you everybody showed up here today for this Fanzone match. Thank your competitors, Kaleb Boatman, Kaleb Koho, and our judges, Brian Michaels, Kirk Kowalkowski, and I guess myself. I don't know. I don't want to thank myself really, but everybody else here, keeps the train going, and please come back.
go. Thank you very much. Please come again. We have a lot more groceries.